Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Yes, today I have another interesting topic for you, right? And as the topic suggests, understanding the dynamics of influence, persuasion, and manipulation. Trust me, this one will be a topic that you will most certainly enjoy, right? Now, as usual, what I'm going to do, since I'm still reading from the book called Stolen Minds, Understanding Cults, this is actually a topic that is there in the book. I'm going to screenshot it from my phone since I have it on PDF on my phone, right? And then I'm going to put the pictures in this video so you can look at it, right? And then after that, when you go through the pictures, it's about, I think it should be about 5 pages, right? Or 5 pictures, and it's a very quick read, right? So after you go through it, then we can have our discussion on the topic. All right, that being said, check it out. Say that it's 8. No, I'm sorry, I said I mean to say, I know that I said that it's 5, but it's actually 9 pages, so my apology for that mistake. Now let's go through it, right? Now the author says in this in the very first paragraph of this, and he talks about how easy it is for us to get manipulated. I mean, we think in ourselves that we have perfect control over our lives, right? We perhaps don't believe that in very simple things we can actually make mistakes, right? And with the amount of struggles and issues of life and so forth. Sorry, my apologies for that. With the struggles and issues of life, and the amount of things there is to know, right? At times we feel like we are having an information overload. Trust me, I'm going to be honest with you. There are times when I myself feel pressured in having this apologetics ministry, which is why I tell people that it's far harder than giving exhortations, just giving a message of encouragement and so forth, doing YouTube videos about jokes and doing whether it be a show or a comedy. It is much harder when you're doing the apologetics ministry. The amount of reading and the amount of things that you need to know. Sometimes I feel pressured at times, handling the difficulties of life and so forth. And apart from heavenly things, we have a duty to know earthly things as well, because you will get battered and bruised. If you're not aware of what is going on in the world, you won't know how to navigate around it. So sometimes I feel pressured, having an information overload. And so I can relate to what the author is actually saying. But due to this information overload, we tend to want to take a shortcut. Right? We tend to want to take a shortcut. And even with the previous video that I did before, right? When he gave an example about you're on the computer and it tell you that whether to do this or to do that, and you see something just pop up and you can't even bother to read it, you just click next or click OK. Because we just can't bother to sit down and be reading and we just can't bother with it. This is primarily why when I was going to school I never liked history. History was a subject I didn't like because the amount of reading and to remember dates and so forth, I more prefer practical subjects. You understand? But somehow I got to like religion, and because of that I end up loving to research religious things. Right? So this is how I reached the point where I love to research. But before, I never liked it because of the pressure and so forth. You understand? So we tend to want to take a shortcut. You understand? And just take the easy way out. And that is when we become vulnerable, when we want to take shortcuts. They have a saying in that shortcut in Jamaica, shortcut draw blood. You understand? We want to go to that street because it's short and easy. When the longer way, we want to take taxi, right? In Jamaica, we have buses that we call coasters and so forth, but you're not as safe as if you take like the ordinary government bus, which takes longer, of course, but you're safer. You understand? Anything happen to you, and whether it be taxi or these coasters and so forth, you have no benefits to get. You understand? You have no benefits, so we want the quick way out. And when we take those coasters, sometimes police stop them because of whether it be bad driving, and then they take a long time to write ticket and we end up late. You understand? So this is a problem what happens when we take shortcuts. It makes us vulnerable and things are likely to happen to us. You won't find a gunman also going on JUTC bus to do robbery. He'll do it on coaster, taxi and so forth, but they are less likely to do it with government transportation. You understand? So this is what the writer is saying. It makes us very vulnerable, right? When we want to take shortcuts, when we take these shortcuts. And so, I'm not reading everything, I'm just giving an example. Now, the writer says, social science have discovered that there are 6 behavioral patterns, behavioral tendencies that influence our social interactions. These tendencies become personal trends because they are so useful, and therefore we come to rely upon them as types of automatic pilot, right? Of course, the downside to rely on these patterns is that they can easily be exploited. It is vital to remember that because these mechanisms have been so deeply incorporated into our personalities, we don't even notice when they've been hijacked for the benefit of others. Now, I'm going to tell you the 6 things now that the writer is actually talking about. And then, I'm not going to read what he said from it and use his example. You understand? I'm just going to mention the word and then explain, right? You have the pictures already, so you can go through them for yourself, right? Reciprocation, and that's the first one that is mentioned. And what I'm going to do to make this thing even more interesting, right? I'm going to use each of these, or some of them, I'm going to use in the context of a relationship. You understand? I'm going to use it in the context of a relationship because I have my fair share of relationships, you know. You understand? If any of you have been in a toxic relationship before, or you have gotten yourself involved with a narcissist, you understand? If you have gotten yourself involved with a narcissist, then maybe some of what is mentioned here, you can actually relate to it, right? I'm going to use myself as an example to explain these things. I'm your typical nice guy. You understand? And if you know something about women, they often say that they want nice guys. But the truth of the matter is, most of them, they don't really want nice guys. You understand? They don't. Even though they'll complain about how men are trash, men are wicked, and they'll find all sorts of negative things to say about them. But when they really do find actually nice guys, majority of them, 9 out of 10, actually take them for a fool. You understand? Because what they say that they want nice guys, but they don't really need nice guys. They need a man. They need a strong man. They don't want a fool. Someone who they can clown out. You understand? Who they can walk over and use as a doormat. They'll see as weak. And if you give an impression that you're that type of person, it's like license for them, ammunition for them to do cruel stuff to you and to probably take it for granted. You understand? You have to make it known that you're serious. It's good to be nice, you know, but you need to know when to draw the line and to put down your foot. Trust me, take it from me, I had to learn this the hard way. That there are times when you have to hurt people's feelings, you have to disappoint people for your own good. The whole nice guy, goody two-shoes thing doesn't work all the time. You understand? When you set yourself to be like that, you'll always be manipulated, conned, and used by people. You understand? And so it is with cults. You understand? They take advantage of these so-called nice individuals or these nice people. You understand? Now let's go through it using the context of relationship. Reciprocation. If you're talking to a guy, I'm going to use it both ways. And the guy is super nice still. You understand? But at the same time, he's super bad. A lot of times this causes women to stay in these relationships because the guy is so good to them. You understand? They are so good to them. And you want to give back. You understand? For the goodness that you have received from this person. Even though he's doing a lot of bad stuff, that's hurting you. You just want to reciprocate. You want to give back. You understand? You want to be his happiness and so forth, because while he's giving you happiness, it's happiness mixed with hurt. Would it be that he's abusing you, even though he's providing all the things that you need and giving him money and so forth. But he's abusing you, whether verbally, physically, he's perhaps cheating on you. You understand? Coming home late at night and all these things, right? And because he wants to give back, thanks to him, you have an education. He bought you a vehicle and so forth. You want to reciprocate. You understand? You want to reciprocate. And so it is. It can be vice versa as well with a man. You're with a toxic woman. She give you the best sex that you can possibly dream of. But she is so consuming. She is a narcissist. She wants your every attention. She doesn't give you a break. If it's up to her, you will not get anything done. Whenever she texts you, she needed to respond right away. She can't wait. No matter how important what you have. You could have work, you could have school. She needed to respond right away. I remember meeting a girl, Jesus peace, and my girl hunt. The minute in before the next day, I told myself that this can't work. Toxic to the core. You understand? Toxic to the core. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how nice they are to you. You understand? If they are not nice and fully nice and they just have some baggage with it, you may want to not be the nice guy or the nice woman. Just ditch. You understand? Take away yourself. Because it won't be worth it in the end simply because you want to reciprocate. You understand? Now the next one is commitment and consistency. Commitment and consistency. I remember making a promise to a girl that I'll always be around and I'll stick around. I'll never leave that person. You understand? I'll never leave. And I said that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I basically dig my grave when I did that, because when I said it at first, she seemed so amazing to me. But later down the line, I started to see some things and she became very toxic. You understand? And me being a typical nice guy, not want to break her heart because I made a promise, I was trapped. You understand? I was trapped. I wanted to ditch. It was getting so bad to me. I ended up getting discarded, by this individual, a narcissist. I end up got discarded, but I stick it out and tough it out because I made an oath with that individual. If you're a bastard, this won't work on you, It will only work if you're a nice guy or a nice girl. If you're a bastard, this won't work on you. Unfortunately, I was a typical nice guy, so the craft worked well on me. You understand? Because that person, after that person got me into an oath, you understand? They carefully maneuver how they're going to get me to do their bidding and to stick around. And that's when they start to basically control my life. You understand? That's when they basically start to control my life and use all kind of toxic. Give me guilt trips whenever she doesn't get what she want and so forth. Yes, let me look bad and feel bad. I used to wonder how I'm going to manage all of this. But I made an oath, I made a promise. You understand? And so you might want to be careful as to how you make commitments and so forth. Because manipulators, toxic people and narcissists can actually use it against you. He who feels it knows it. Right? Now, social validation. Social validation. Social validation. Right? Social validation. Let me give you an example. Right? You say you made a mistake in the church, right? And you're courting and you have sex out of wedlock or before marriage and a baby ensue from out of it. You want to go and get married. You'll want to get married for the social validation. What you did was not right. You understand? What many persons do, let me use a better example. Right? They go and get married. They make the mistake and they realize that period doesn't come after a certain time. So, oops, I'm pregnant. So what you want to do is to rush the marriage so that persons don't know that you actually did what you ought not to do. Worse, if you're the pastor's daughter, or if you're in the choir, or you played major roles in church. For it to be discovered that you did that, it would be like social invalidation to you. So because you want that social validation, you may start seeing signs, coming from that individual, but you have to protect your reputation. You understand? So you go and you get married to the person, despite the red flags that you start to see coming from that individual. You understand? That social validation. So if you're born and raised into a particular group, and it's all that you don't know any other thing apart from that group. For the validation, you're going to want to go and do it. Every single person in your family is a Seventh-day Adventist. I've seen this actually happening. Persons know that Adventism is false. But everyone in the family are all Seventh-day Adventists. You're not going to want to go to another form of faith. No. Because it will feel weird to you. You understand? This is another one of the ways in which persons, as I say, if you're a boss and you don't give a crap, none of these things won't work on persons who don't give a crap. For bastards, you understand? You're the type of person you don't give a crap about anyone. You understand? If the thing not working for me, even if it hurts your feelings, I don't give a damn. If you're that type of person, these won't be able to work on you. But if you're a nice guy or that typical nice girl who cares about what people think, you're at risk, you understand, in becoming ensnared in cults. Right? Now the next one, liking. Oh gosh, I'll use Jehovah's Witness for this one. Despite the things that people know about Jehovah's Witness and the falseness that they know about it, when you see them sometimes, even me, sometimes I'm so concerned about them walking up and down, you understand, not having umbrellas in the sun and so forth. I can't be hard on them because they are just so sweet. You understand? Among all the Christians that I know, you understand, Jehovah's Witness top the charts when it comes to being nice. They and Mormons, they are super nice and super sweet. You like them or perhaps fall in love with them. When I say fall in love, I don't mean in a romantic kind of way. But you'll fall in love with them, and so people gravitate to them and open up to them despite what they know about them sometimes, and even despite the fact that they seem so weird to them. Because they have a certain type of personality, it draws you to them and want to listen to them and to hear from them. You understand? So this is one of the way they act so nice. You understand? This is one of the way that they use to draw you in and to lure you in with them. The next one is authority. Now, as I mentioned before several times over, most cults don't use the Bible alone. They always have a founder or founders who make extraordinary claims or supernatural claims. They say that they get visions and so forth. They are prophet or prophets. And these kind of things basically fosters faith in them from cult members. You understand? So once you develop that faith, because if they're a prophet, based on what we know from the Bible, you understand? If a person has shown that they have the gift of prophecy, then you really ought to listen to them, because by right you should not. To reject the prophet is equivalent to rejecting God. So these persons oftentimes masquerade as prophets or apostles. You understand? Very common in our day today. There are so many apostles now. I tell you, I can't even count. You understand? And it fosters trust and so forth. You understand? Especially in charismatic groups, you always have apostles and so forth. You understand? And the minute you hear that a person is an apostle, oftentimes or a prophet, oftentimes persons don't really check, how to screen them, test the spirit and so forth. They just want to hear someone say they're an apostle or a prophet, and they just run with whatever they say without even questioning it or screening them first to see if they meet the classification of one. You understand? And so this is one of the way in which cults actually draw in members by use of authority. You understand? By use of authority. Now the last one on it is scarcity. Every cult have some form of scarcity. They have some form of doctrine that is unique to them only. You understand? Some light that they alone can see. I know I've said this before several times over and that every cult have something that makes them unique. That is different from orthodox or traditional Christianity. For Seventh-day Adventists, they have the investigative judgment. That's their unique teaching. They have diet gospel, but they borrowed it from someone else, like Mary Baker Eddy. They are not the first to talk about diet and so forth, so that's not unique to them. But the doctrine of investigative judgment, that one is unique to them. Right? For the Jehovah's Witness, they have no blood. Not giving blood, not praying for people. You understand? Not celebrating holidays and so forth. Those things are unique to them. And there are different teachings that is unique to them as well. Right, for Mormons, you have the belief in multiple gods, tritheism. You understand? They believe that that you can become a god, and there are several other things. There are temple practices and so forth. For Mary Baker Eddy, they don't believe in that death is real, that sickness is real, and they don't believe in the whole thing about taking medicines. All those are like illusions and so forth. They are not real. You understand? So for Pentecostals or oneness Pentecostals, they believe that they must speak in tongues. You understand? For in order to be saved, that's their unique teaching. That one is unique to them. You understand? For Church of Christ and many other groups, I think Church of Christ is that's the group where it actually starts from. I'm not sure. That believe that baptism is necessary for one's salvation. I'm not sure. I may be wrong. You understand? I may be wrong on that premise. And there are so many more of them, you understand? That unique teaching that these groups actually have that makes them different. Now, once they have something that is unique to them, and they color it in such a way that makes it appear true, that's the right arm for them in you having faith in them that they are the only true church on earth. Because each of them make it out that they are true. They are the true church, and every other church out there is false. Once you see those peculiar things that is unique to them, and they make it appear that it's true, it's hard for you to believe in any other group, or to want to check out any other group, because the first thing that's going to come to your mind, how no other group see this? How can no other group see this apart from them? Yes, man, this church really is the truth, man. They have the truth because they're teaching these things, and no other church, every other church believe the garbage and the crap and so forth. And these people actually believe. These people can see the truth behind health. These people can see the truth behind baptism and speaking in tongues. They don't realize these churches are false. These church need us to bring the light to them. You understand that they must speak in tongues and so forth in order to get into heaven. A crafty way, scarcity. You understand? Scarcity is one of the things, one of the main things that actually let people believe in these groups. Right? And they go into thinking to themselves that they have some special truth, not knowing that they have been duped and that they have been bamboozled. You understand? Now, I'm going to add something that is actually not in the Michael Skobach's book, but I actually learned this from one of my special subscribers, the A. You understand about NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, NLP, right? Now, I'm going to post in the comments section, right, so that you can see what NLP actually, about how the A actually brings it across NLP. I'm going to post what he actually says in the comment section, right? And I'm going to post what he actually says in the comment section, but I'm going to leave it to you to research what NLP is, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. But in a nutshell, it involves studying how persons achieve success in various things and basically copying how they actually do it. You understand? And employing those methods in order to achieve the same results, right? Now, what the A is basically saying that most pastors or leaders at the Seventh-day Adventist Church are trained in neuro-linguistic programming. You understand? And so they pattern a lot of things and so forth about the pattern salespeople, and they learn certain techniques and so forth, how people actually achieve success. They pattern psychologists and various different things, and they study and they learn, you understand, and they employ these kind of techniques, you understand, to use to basically draw in persons into their groups. You understand? Neuro-linguistic programming. Right? So this is one of the things, one of the tools that is used by cults. You understand? In order to grow their churches and so, because when you look at the time when Seventh-day Adventists was, when they basically sprang up, there are groups like Mormons and Christian Science and so forth. And so Ellen White could easily watch what they're doing and so forth and see that it's actually working for them. You understand? The leaders at that time, and they could easily copy it and use it, you understand? And fortunately for Seventh-day Adventists, they gained acceptance in the evangelical community, you understand? And it made it easy for them to employ these tools. They have evangelicals on their side and so forth. So that is how they were able to actually outgrow, you understand, all of these groups such as Christian Science, Mormons, and so many of them. They employ the techniques and they get the acceptance from the evangelical community. So it was a light matter for them to actually reach where they reach now. You understand? Of course, I've said before how I've stated how they have gotten this acceptance, right, by Walter Martin, and I did state, right, that's in my video on why I have an apologetics ministry and cause. That's the video where I state how they got acceptance into evangelical community. And in one of my other videos, right, my recent videos, I showed you where Walter Martin was actually changing his decision, right, but he didn't get to pen it because death came upon him before he could actually do that, right? So in essence, then he made a mistake, right, which he was realizing that they rightfully should not have gotten that acceptance. But then that's not the point of this video to talk about that. I just felt like adding that, right? But anyways, we are at a conclusion, right, on this subject of persuasion, right, influence and manipulation, right? Let me repeat. The dynamics of influence, persuasion, and manipulation. Now we are at a close. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment where necessary, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon so that you can receive notifications whenever I make new uploads. And last but not least, share this video with whom you know will benefit from an amazing video like this. Bye bye now.